The Wazir and the Witch, Chronicles of an Age of Darkness by Hugh, Chapter 23 reading. When Shanville Angerus May arrived on the island of Jod, he easily persuaded Ivan Pokrov to come to the Pink Palace with Chegri Guy and Olivia Kasaba. With them went the algorithmist Artemis Ingalawa, who invited herself along so she could survey any bargaining on a possible use of the analytical engine. Across the harbour bridge they went, then through the slumlands of Labos, up Shindik Way to its intersection with Goldhammer Rise, then up Like Street toward the Pink Palace. Though he was on his way to an imperial palace to discuss affairs of state, Chegri Guy was wearing nothing but a loincloth and boots. Had he wished, he could have demanded that he be provided with gorgeous embroidered robes of silk, like those affected by Ingilta Bajura's wonder workers, or he could have worn any of the 5 plain silken robes which had found their way into his wardrobe as a result of the generosity of the Empress Justina. But Chegri, fearful of the hostility he felt his new eminence was arousing among the populace, did his best to pretend to humility. At first, intoxicated by the heady combination of power and love, Chegri had worried not at all about risks he was running, but old habits of caution and worry had rapidly asserted themselves to the point where, acutely conscious of the fragility of Anton Chilmon's present political arrangements, Chegri doubted they could or would last for much longer. Sooner or later, Ingilta Bajura would realize that the crab was not truly Wazir. Then Chegri would have to deal with his enemies, these being all good citizens of Ingilta Bajura who feared or hated Ebbies. Once they knew that Chegri was virtually ruling on Tunchilamon in his own right, then they would surely tear him to pieces. It greatly annoyed Chegri that his dearest darling, Olivia, had very little sense of the dangers they were running. She adorned herself with fine silks and with jewelry lent to her by the Empress, and this display of finery would, Chegri feared, be held against her when at last the two of them had to survive without the protection of illusion, which was now the sole guardian of their safety. "It's so hot," said Olivia as they tramped uphill past that ship-sized monolith of bone known as Pearl. "If it gets any hotter, I'm going to melt." "Don't say that," said Chegri in distress. He thought for a moment that she was going mad. While boarding at the Dromdan Jerry, he had become familiar with many kinds of lunacy, including the unfortunate condition in which one imagines oneself to be literally melting. "I was only joking," said Olivia crossly. Chegri almost made a sharp retort, but restrained himself. He wiped his sweating brow and looked up. Some bright light lances stabbed out from the glitter dome atop the Pink Palace. Chegri looked away. Purple sunlight danced across his field of vision like so many minor hallucinations caused by the ingestion of a mild dose of Zen. A reading from Chapter 23 of The Wazir and the Witch, Chronicles of an Age of Darkness, Volume 7, by Hugh Cook. Cheers.